We're almost there, and as the music fades out, I can now say that we are live. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Geek Battle Show here on the Extreme Improv Extremes YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Battle YouTube channel. It is a Thursday night. It is time to get freaky. It is time to get geeky. And we're going to work out who is this week's Geek of the Week, as well as going over all of the fun stuff that's happening in the world of movies, comic books, video games, TV shows, and whatever random facts anyone else has to provide for us. Now, on the show tonight, we're going to start with our introductions rounds, as always. Gerald, say hello to the people and give us your geek fact of the week for the chance of a bonus point.
Hello, everybody. I am Gerald, and my geek fact for the week is almost here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've had a good one, and it's gone.
That is definitely a minus point. You may be able to recover it if we come back to you just in time. But we thank you for that non-contribution, Gerald. As we go over to Tim. Tim, say hello to the people and give us your geek fact of the week.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim. I'm from Boston, or more importantly, in our south, which is called Rhode Island, the land of many roads, potholes, and failing bridges. And my geek fact of the week is, in a stir fry, it is customary in Asian dishes to add baking soda to it because it coats the beef. In a stir fry with ground beef, it's customary to add baking soda to it because it coats the ground beef and reduces the kinetic energy that goes between it, thereby changing the structure and the flavor of the beef. So it's amazing what we can do with some kinds of food, even though we're not really about that here. I figured I'd nerd out a little bit on some of our favorite proteins.
That was a good attempt, Tim, but that's a minus point there. We have a food show. No one ever wants to do it. And that would have been perfect for that. But
we haven't done a food show?
You know,
we used to have a food show, which I teased for about 2 months. We did it like one time, and everyone was like, that was amazing. But I could never get people lined up to do it again.
You know what I'm going to do? I have a chocolate bar in my pocket. I have a chocolate bar in my pocket because you just made me emotional, so I'm going to eat this.
You do that.
I will say, though, my mother-in-law does do that. She just figured that out, and it actually sort of tenderizes the meat as well. You don't want to put too much because it's a little funky, but if you put just enough on it, it's like a light dusting.
So apparently this is our Nonsense Nibbles food show. But also joining us tonight, hopefully with a geek fact, is Trevor. Say hello to the people.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Trevor Destry, and I'm actually from Hollywood, and this is my first time on the Geek Show, and my geek fact is Danny Boyd from The Shining. He actually didn't know that he was in a horror movie while they were filming it. The whole time that they filmed that movie, they actually filmed, like, that's why there's a lot of close takes of Danny's face, is because, like, he was too young to know about, like, what was actually being, like, the content of the filmmaking, and it was, like, years later when he found out he was in a horror movie.
That's amazing. That definitely gets a point. So the first point scored there today. Trevor, no, that's a really cool fact. I can imagine that there's so many kids that they put in horror films where they just can't tell them or they can't see it for years. How can you any kid that you put into a horror film like that? What's that? Even like Dakota Fanning, who was like the first thing she was in, like she was in Twilight and stuff later, was like about an alien invasion. And it was a TV show, but I was like, she's 4 years old. She can't watch this. And then she was in that one with Robert De Niro. What was that movie called? Anyone where I can't say what happens, it's a spoiler. But that's a horror.
Worlds?
No, not War of the Worlds. She is in War of the Worlds, though. Yeah, you're right. Everything she did is horror. No wonder she's a bit messed up as an adult. Right. Okay. And I only say that because she plays like weird roles. Okay, Nick, say hello to the people and give us a geek trivia fact of the week.
Hello to the people. My geek trivia fact is the set Murders at Cardiff Manor from Magic the Gathering is the 100th Magic the Gathering expansion that came out this year, which is also the 30th anniversary of the game Magic, which I have been playing for about 27 of those 30 years.
Wow.
Okay,
Pretty
well,
cool.
that's definitely Magic the Gathering isn't quite my jam, but I'm going to assume that either other people here understood it or they were just being polite. But Nick, I will give you a point for that. So, no, go ahead. No? Right. Well, anyway, we're going to get on with things. So, guys, we're going to go on to our hot takes round. So, if there are things that you have seen this week, things that you want to react to, whether they were good, whether they were bad, I've got a few things to contribute that we can react to. But is there anything you guys have seen that you want to react to, Nick?
Can I still talk about Wonka? Because
you want to talk about Wonka again?
I
swear that came out before Christmas
the other day.
Okay, go on then. What's your thing about Wonka, Nick?
I thought it was really good. Again, I'm not going to get into Seven Deadly Sins because it's a
yes, we debunked that last week.
Because you're wrong. I sent you the link. It's in the chat.
I didn't see that. I didn't read it. So, Trevor, just to catch you up here, and anyone that's watching or listening at home who doesn't know this, Nick saw Wonka, and he had two criticisms of it. The first was that this musical film had too much singing. And the second one is that unlike Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, this didn't put enough focus on the Seven Deadly Sins, which when he explained, it turns out they didn't. Right. So, go on, Nick. What else? Yeah, go on, Trevor.
I have a, did you guys, so somebody made a fan trailer of a film about Grandpa Joe and his whole origin story, and it's a really well done, like it looks like a great dramatic film, but it's just about how he doesn't want to do anything with his life. And it's like on the level of like Daniel Day-Lewis like acting. It's pretty incredible. I highly recommend you check it out.
So are you saying, hold on, Trevor, are you saying that Grandpa Joe represents sloth?
Yeah, I am indeed.
Wow. Okay. Look at this.
I'm pretty sure Grandpa Joe is all the Seven Deadly Sins wrapped into one, pretty much. Anyways, yeah.
Right. 1 second, guys. So yeah, the other thing I was going to say about it, I just realized that I didn't know if Dev was going to do the show. I'm just going to check if Dev wants to do it. Now, what I was going to say is that the Seven Deadly Sins, it might come into it if you attach it to it, but I'm sure it wasn't their original intention. But that's fine if people like see what they want elsewhere. But on this trailer, Trevor, was it the Gene Wilder Grandpa Joe, or was it the Johnny Depp Grandpa Joe?
Well, it was. I would say if I would have had to choose, I would say it would probably be more of the Gene Wilder kind of Grandpa Joe. But the budget that they put into this, because it isn't just like some like random, something that someone just like threw together with like absolutely no budget. Like they made it like because I had no desire to watch the Wonka movie, but like the Grandpa Joe movie, I'm like full in. Like I'm totally down for that movie about him just wanting to build a giant bed to like fit 4 people. You guys just definitely have to check it out. It's pretty incredible.
Okay, Tim.
So bringing it back to the Seven Deadly Sins, was Roald Dahl? Was he the author for Willy Wonka?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was he like religious or like a Christian, or maybe that kind of helps bring the possibility of the movie.
Like, I feel like I'm going to be besmirching Roald Dahl here, but I think there was something where he might have. I almost feel terrible saying it, but he was like secretly. Like
he was a massive racist, I believe.
There you go. I didn't want to say
it,
but yeah, he wasn't necessarily a good guy. But here's the thing: I live in the town where there is the official Roald Dahl Museum. So, yeah, like despite any life choices he made, and he was a weird guy. I'll tell you why. There are 2 Roald Dahl museums, and I visited the second one for the first time last year. And when you go there, it's got like his study exactly as it was from photographs with the actual objects that he had. One of the objects is a lump of his bone that is come from like his hip joint where it was like shaved off in surgery. And he's got like this lump of his bone just on display. And it's weird because he like died in about 1990 or something. And you're like, God, that's the guy who wrote Matilda's bone just laying there in front of us. And it's on display in this museum.
Sounds like
now,
a normal
on that note, has anyone else seen things that they have that they want to react to this week? Wow, did you just hear like dolphins fly in the room or something? Right. Okay. Go on, Tim.
I just saw season 2, episode 11 of Gilmore Girls, and I'm not a fan of Jess.
Yeah.
All right. Dean's losing. The writers are giving away Dean's character, so he's just like a.
Hi, I'm happy to see you.
Remake that I'm not aware of.
No, this is from like the 2005 era. I'm watching it and like I'm watching my partner and like having fun. Like, oh my god, I can't believe Jess is such a Milo Dementaviglia or whatever. I don't know some actor's name. Ventimiglia or it's I don't know. I think it's supposed
one of
to
the
be
guys from Heroes.
Yeah, something like that. And he just walks around. He's like, "Look at me, I'm tough." Oh, I can't. I'm not a Jess fan. I'm just not. And then Taylor Dosey is Emperor Palpatine, except he's a failure at it. Ugh.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was all I got to say.
No, that's fair enough. Now, one thing I'll try to bring on to something like current or upcoming is they have shown the first photos of the Crow remake. So this has got what's the name of the actor in it? Bill Skarsgård. Who was he was Pennywise as the guy from The Crow, I guess. And I don't know, what's your thought on this reveal of what he's going to look like in the movie?
It looks like a very stern clown porn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I do get a vibe of Jared Leto as the Joker from this.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
But looking at like the original Crow, like I mean, I'm pretty sure that like that same first look of seeing him would feel kind of the same way because like I don't know, like looking at like Brandon Lee in that, like and looking at that, I'm just like, I don't know how you're gonna make him look, I don't know, like especially cool. Like he does seem like kind of a moody, broody type of dude.
Well, here's the thing. I don't actually know like the comics because I know it's based on the comic. What did it look like in the original comic? Was the original comic accurate?
Mostly. It was the original comic was black and white, and the covers were the only colored part of it. In parts of the covers, he just has like normal, regular sort of peach skin as opposed to the white mask, but he does have the clown mouth and then the eye stars.
Okay, so like literally, because for me, for years, I just thought like oh, hang on, Dev is joining and Cap is here. So sorry, guys, like it's been a bit of an event today, so everything's like massively behind. Let's do a quick check-in with these guys.
Can I get an initial geek point? Because I was here before Cap.
No, right? Okay, Cap and Faith, say hello to the people. Do you have a random geek trivia fact for us?
What's up, dogs? I'm from the land of leopards, elephants, and crocodiles, otherwise known as Sri Lanka or Toonland. I like to call it Toonland. My geek fact for the day, well, this is something I learned from Diz when we had the Sword Deeds Talk, which will premiere on Sunday, is that Wolverine likes to go hunting, but he doesn't technically hunt animals. He likes to sneak up on animals and touch them. That's what basically.
That just sounds weird.
Yeah, that sounds a little sketchy.
Okay, it's definitely worth the point though.
Think of it as playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
Or tag.
It's sort of like the Native American counting coup.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It almost feels like the reverse. Like this would be what you'd have expected. Disney get hold of this character. And they're going to change him. It's like, that doesn't fit for the Disney branding. We're just going to make it that he runs up and cuddles people. You know, it sounds like it's gone that way around. Okay.
That's Craven.
Definitely worth the point there, though. Dev, say hello to the people, and do you have a geek trivia fact for us?
Hello, people. I'm Dev, and my geek trivia fact is some scenes in X-Men Evolution were, I'm not sure where that's coming from, were
no, me neither.
homages to TV shows like The Craft and Buffy, where they took the animations of like certain scenes and reanimated them for the show.
I saw that meme. That was pretty cool. Like,
wow, that's cool. So they literally just hang on. What I'm hearing, and I know I'm like twisting everything here, is they stole their choreography basically.
Yes. There's a dancing from Buffy that is redrawn for the show. There's a hallway scene from The Craft redrawn for the show.
Yeah,
And
like
you
you know,
told
like
You
all
mean
power
the
to
dance
them, and
that
whoever's
Gideon
spotted
Brooke
that.
does on the show?
Sorry, say that again, Cap?
You mean the dance that Rogan Kitty does? Was
Yes.
that reference?
That's from Buffy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. Like, there's someone out there who knows enough about these two franchises that they can spot that, and then they know enough also to put that on video. It's fascinating. Like, our brains are unique enough to spot those patterns.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
you know, it can happen. I'll give you an example. I recently made a video, and I'm quite proud of this because I think this was a world exclusive from the world of Geek Battle. But there's a video game for the Amiga, which is an old computer that wasn't that popular in the States. And it was called Gloom. And it was a rip-off of Doom. And everyone knew it because they called it Gloom and Doom. But all of the screams and sound effects from it were ripped off from the movie Aliens. They stole them. Yeah. And I didn't know this for years, except for I was watching the movie Aliens one day. And suddenly I heard like this distinct scream. And I was like, I know that. And it dawned on me where I knew it from. And I knew this for about 10 years. And I held on to it until about a month ago. I made a video revealing this to the world. And it's amazing how much people who are into their video games were like, look, it's not theft. Why don't you get them to sue them 20 years later? And they were taking it far too seriously. I was like, I don't care that they stole it. I thought this was fun trivia.
David, that's why you just say it in your geek intro and get a bonus point for it.
Oh, yes, Tim, I'm going to take that. Right. Okay. Gerald, what have you got for us?
I have my geek fact, and Dev triggered it. So Muppet Babies. We likely may never, ever see Muppet Babies streamed or on DVD or anything, or Blu-ray or whatever it is. The reason is because in, I guess, what was it, the late 80s, early 90s when they were doing it, and there's several other shows like this too, there were all of these pop cultural references. So currently Disney does own Lucasfilms and owns
The Muppets.
hints and stuff, but there's other stuff in there. So like, for instance, there's a part where Kermit the Frog is dressed up as Indiana Jones and, like, you know, running from the boulder and all that stuff. And back in the time when the show was originally created, most of the deals for like using other people's characters were done with a handshake and not an actual written contract. And because of all the complexities around the ownership and trademarks of all those things, it is likely that we may never see them in other than when they came out like in VHS tapes years and years and years ago.
Wow, that is really fascinating. Gerald, you get your point back and you're on around 0 points now, so congratulations. But no, that's really fascinating. Like, the thing is, they definitely now own Indiana Jones, so that one they should be able to clear that.
Yeah, and I guess there's just a multitude of ones, and it's, you know, it's been
I think
20 years or so since I last saw it. So.
Historical like 40. That they should just let it slide. Because, like how I just said about this sound effect on this old video game, it's like if you're a gamer, I think, you know, everyone knows that the front cover of the first Metal Gear Solid game is literally just copied of Reese from Terminator. Did you know this? I'll bring it up to show you. So, Metal Gear, and then Terminator. Let me see if I can show you the side by side. Let's bring it up big. So open image. I don't want to open it in a new tab. Open image in new tab. Oh yeah, there we go. Right, let's check this out, guys. If you haven't seen this before, here we see Reese from Terminator.
Wow.
And that is the box. That is the original Solid Snake. That's how they. Well, he didn't have it. He hadn't lost his eye in the first one. But there's tons of these from like the 80s and early 90s where they just like, especially like Alien or Predator or Arnold Schwarzenegger were just in everything. And but there's loads. It was the Wild West days. They got away with stuff.
So I went to my local pub, had Bad Movie Night a couple weeks ago, and I saw arguably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Wonka.
It was called Chopping Mall.
Okay, what was it called?
Chopping, like chopping down a tree.
Yeah.
Mall. It
That
was
Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall. It was fantastically bad, and I want to discuss this movie.
David
entirely.
acted out that movie
Yeah.
in one of the
Like
extreme
3 weeks ago.
improvs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, but I've never seen it, so whatever I did was just
Oh
my
my
guess of
God.
what Chopping Mall might have been
The
about.
premise of this movie is in 1987, I want to say, and I wasn't really paying attention. They hire androids to be security guards at this fancy mall somewhere in Boston, I want to say, and the robots go crazy, and then a bunch of kids decide we're gonna have a slumber party at the mall, like you do in the States. And the thing is, the aliens will kill you if you're in the mall after. I mean, not the aliens, the security robots will kill you if you're in the mall after hours and you don't have a badge.
Sounds like it's in Taunton.
Hilarity ensues, and one of the lines is whenever the alien will kill them, they say right before they kill them, "Have a nice day," and then they like laser beam. Like this movie is
Okay, look,
spectacularly bad.
Nick, this brings up a good point of discussion, guys. What would you say is the worst movie you've ever seen? Now,
Oh,
I don't
it's
know if this
hardcore.
is. I don't know if this is the worst one I've ever seen, but I think I mentioned it last week. But I'm going to give it the second shout out of Unalienable or Inalienable, whatever it was called, which was written by Chekhov from Star Trek, the original series. He wrote the lead role for himself when he was 75 and then decided he was too old, so gave it to a guy from Battlestar Galactica who was 65, who made out with a 30-year-old woman after touching stuff in a laboratory and somehow impregnated himself with an alien.
I kind of want to see
First
this.
scene, you can see camera people in the reflection in the laboratory. And I forgot the best part. After the FBI come and take the alien baby, which has grown out of his side away, which has got tentacles, he then goes to court, and the rest of the movie is a courtroom drama as he tries to get custody back for his infection.
I love it. I love
I
it. because I love it. I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it too.
I think it's inalienable or unalienable. But either way, it was written by Chekhov from the original Star Trek.
You know what? Still better than Madam Web.
You're saying Madam Web is the worst movie you've ever seen?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, that I saw Madam Web. It's pretty bad, but it's not inalienable bad.
Didn't Dakota Johnson fire her agent?
What?
Yeah.
Go on, Tim?
Yeah.
Didn't Dakota Johnson fire her agent after, like, before or after?
Yeah.
So, probably the worst movie I've seen in the movies was The Machine, based on a Burt Kreischer comedy sketch. The movie is hilariously bad.
I like that movie.
Oh, it was like I enjoyed the movie. It was a terrible movie, but I liked it. I was the only one in the movie theater. Like I walked into the movie theater. I'm like,
same.
am I early? I was looking around. I'm like, no. I was the only one who went to see that movie on like a Friday night.
Sucker.
Okay, what's your
I
nominee?
have to ask, is it a terrible movie if you end up having the time of your life?
Oh, I thought
hang on, Kat.
Terrible. Like the Room is a bad movie, but you will have fun watching it. So
right,
Cap. Look, you look. So you go to the cinema on a date. You're like, this film sucks. Do you want to make out? Doesn't make the movie good.
Hey, Kat, have you never gone to the movies just to go see a bad movie? Like, you're like, I know this movie's going to be the hottest of garbage, but you know what? I want to see it because I like the character. I like the story, you know?
I would say like the only film I would say is Food Fight, because like after I watched it I got sick, and I blame half of that for the movie, even though influence has nothing to do with
and
the
that was
movie.
the
But I
time of
blame
your
the
life.
movie.
So about 20 years ago, I was working for Disney World in Florida. And I went to see Clerks 2 at the movies, and I forgot that I had a shift at work that day, and I almost got fired because I went to see Clerks 2. Do you know exactly how many F's I give about going to go see Clerks 2 in the movies and almost losing my job? 0.
So Nick, what you're trying to say is you went into your work and said you only were supposed to be there today.
Pretty much. They
Go on, Trevor.
So I mean, it's hard because like there's so many like Redbox movies that are unbelievable, or like I don't know if like anybody even knows what Redbox really is anymore, but there's so many of those like straight to video films, and there's like a lot of zombie films that I've went into the zombie genre, and there is some terrible garbage in there. But there's this one movie with tiger zombies, and but the tiger zombie that they use is always the same. Like they obviously had a very low budget, so it's always the same tiger jumping across the screen. So they always just have a different background, and it's just like a "Arr!" and like it's that constantly. They're like no, and then it's the tiger "Arr!" and it's like jumping the same direction every single time. That movie was pretty terrible, but like I don't know, like I don't remember its name. I'd have to look it up, but like because I mean it was so like I said, there's so many movies in the zombie genre that are just so unbelievably terrible. Because like I've dived deep into that genre, and it's bad. There's a lot of bad crap in there. But yeah, a lot of the movies that like end up just like straight to video. It's kind of hard to like decide which one. I would say. I mean, the most uncomfortable I've ever been in a movie was Human Centipede 2. That movie was really, really awful.
Wait, had you seen the first one?
I had seen the first one, but like, I mean, this is just like a boring day in college where we were just like, I don't know, let's see what do you do in the second one? What is like, where do you go from there? And the second one puts the first one to shame. The second one is like the most disgusting, awful film I've ever seen.
Trevor, what can I say? If you've already seen Human Centipede 1 and then you sit around with your parents to watch Human Centipede 2, you bring this on yourself. Right.
I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, it wasn't with my parents; it was with my friends. But I mean, it was just a day in college of us getting stoned and being like, I don't know. I guess let's just put on whatever crap we find at the theater.
Clarification first: were they friends of yours? Did they decide? Hey, let's go see Human Centipede, or was it your idea? Because friends see Human Centipede too.
Yeah. It was definitely their idea, and I mean, because we just would go through the horror. I mean, like. Because I mean, there's very little things in the horror genre that like really kind of stand out, and so like I mean, if we want to talk about bad movies, like there's a lot of movies in that genre that are just like, what is this? Like, where is this going? But I mean, that was one that we were like, I guess let's give it a shot, and I highly recommend. I mean, the first one is pale in comparison. The first one's whatever, you know what the first one is. The second one is about a guy who's obsessed with the first one, who wants to like recreate it, and he's mentally challenged, and it's a really dark film. I don't recommend it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I've got to though, right? So is that the one where he decides that when he wants to do himself a pleasure, he has to get the sandpaper?
Yeah, I don't know if that's I can't remember that. But he does. But he does do the surgeries himself. And he's not a doctor. He's not. You know, it's a weird, strange movie. But and he even like, yeah, we don't need to talk about it anymore. There's many other awful films that like I would never like watch again that are just like so bad. I worked at a movie theater when I was in high school, and like there's just so many like because it was free movies that like I mean I remember Into the Blue with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba is just like them swimming a lot in that movie, and like I passed out in that movie like 4 times because I was just like. In between movie, like when we would start out like putting on a movie to when the second showing would happen, we could just take a break. So sometimes I'd just like go into one of the movies, and that movie was like a perfect movie for us to just go pass out in and just completely tune out because it was a nothing garbage movie.
My first job in high school was I worked on a Blockbuster Video.
and you were obsessed
what's
with
that?
the human centipede. So you
Bring it full circle.
What is a blockbuster video? What is a blockbuster video?
A blockbuster video is a retail outlet where you can rent movies for three nights, and if you don't rewind them, you'll have to pay $2 because you have to remote because they're using these type of devices called VHS tapes that you had to rewind. And if you did it, we would have to put them in the fucking little rewinder that took 90 seconds to rewind them.
Oh, you poor thing. Right, okay. Like Gerald, did we hear? What would you think the worst movie of all time is?
I don't know, but one that was sort of fun, or fun or odd that when Trevor was talking about the zombie tigers is a movie called Night of the Lepus. So it was in the early 70s when they made all these monster bad horror movies, and obviously they didn't have a budget either. And it's about these giant killer rabbits, and it's sort of funny because like they have a picture of the rabbit. It's like going back to like the old 1950s horror movies where they have the giant dragon that's basically an iguana and they superimpose the people in front of it. Yeah, it's not horrible, but it's some sort of entertaining. And when you said the zombie tigers,
okay, guys, just because look, this will be a slightly shorter show today. I've had car issues and stuff like that. Started late. We'll probably end a little bit early, just so that we can definitely make sure we end up with a Geek of the Week this week. I have asked ChatGPT to prepare a quiz on horror movies. Okay. Now, it should have just been zombie movies, but this is incredibly easy. And as always with ChatGPT, the answers aren't guaranteed to be accurate. Okay. So get ready to buzz in, which we do just by calling out buzz and giving a wave. And if anyone's got lag, well, get better internet. Right. So anyway, here we go. Now, which iconic horror movie features a serial killer called Michael?
Buzz.
Oh, Nick was in there first.
Michael Myers, Halloween.
Oh, I'm only just going to give that to you there, Nick. That was very slow on that answer there. Right, okay. In which horror film is there a possessed girl whose head spins 360? Gerald.
The Exorcist
is the correct answer. Next question. Okay. This isn't okay. We've got our first incorrect answer question here. Let's see if you can get this. So, which classic horror movie features a young woman? What?
The Manchurian Candidate.
Ah, so close, so far. Features a young woman being terrorized by a psychopathic killer in a mask.
Buzz.
Nick.
Michael Myers.
Incorrect. Gerald.
Phantom of the Opera.
No, incorrect. You're never going to get it because it's gone cap. Last guess.
Friday the 13th?
No, all of those would have been good answers, but for some reason they think it's Psycho when Norman Bates doesn't wear a mask. So thanks, ChatGPT. But a horror film franchise that revolves around a doll possessed by a serial killer. Trevor.
Child's Play
is the correct answer. Moving on to our next question. Let's have a look. What is the name of the hotel in
the Outlook?
Nick?
The Overlook.
Is the correct? Oh, hang on. You said the Outlook.
I said the Outlook, but then I correctly myself.
Yeah, that's incorrect answer. Anyone want to come in with the correct answer? Trevor.
Bates Motel.
No, it's not. Gerald.
The Overlook, which is based upon the Stanley Hotel in Colorado.
Outlook is what you do with your email, I'm afraid, Nick. So I'm lucky on that one. But I'm not going to lie. I made the exact same mistake about a year ago on this show where I was like, Outlook! And it was wrong. Okay, let's have a look here. What was the film that popularized the found footage horror genre? Oh, Nick is just in first. Sorry, Nick?
Blair Witch Project
is the correct answer. Oh, Nick is playing to win here, guys. Get ready. Who directed the 1973 horror classic, The Exorcist? Time is running out.
Stanley Cooper?
No, I'm afraid not. It was William. Go on. No, I've said it now. William Friedkin. I'm afraid. Okay,
got it
let's have a
wrong,
look here. Which horror film is about a group of friends who come against demonic forces in a cabin in the woods? Capelthave
The Evil Dead.
is the correct answer.
So you're saying it's not Cabin in the Woods?
Well, I've got to go by the answer that this was asking for. Okay, two more for this round. Okay, which horror movie features a killer who haunts his victims' dreams?
Buzz.
Nick.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, is the correct answer. And last one for this round.
It's the first Johnny Depp movie. Is it a door?
Okay, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pronounce the answer, but we'll do our best. What is the name of the demonic entity that possesses... Oh, I can't even say the question. That possesses Reagan in The Exorcist?
Buzz.
Nick.
Oh, shit. It's something...
No, it's not. Oh, shit. Okay, Capelthave.
I know the second Exorcist demon, Pazuzu.
Oh, that is the answer it's looking for. So
that's actually the second demon. It's
so
horrible.
you got it right despite it being right. And
here's the thing: the review goes like this. Pazuzu.
Isn't it Beelzebub in the first one?
I don't think so.
I have no idea, I'm afraid.
That is
okay, that brings us to
name.
the end of that Geek Round. We'll have one more quick fire round coming up shortly, but before we do, just because otherwise we will start to run out on time, shorter show today, guys, afraid. Is there anything else that you guys have seen, trailers, things to react to? I've got a couple of other stories, but Capelthave.
So The Exorcist 2, I haven't actually seen the movie, but I've seen a review of it. But it has the most funniest references you can think of, is that it has James Earl Jones. Basically, a demon is like going through Africa and like trying to find The Shining or whatever. And you see James Earl Jones come out of a tent or a building, and he basically roars at the demon, and the demon just goes, "Oh shit!" just goes away.
Sounds good. Sounds worth checking out.
It's not
Trevor?
horrible.
Me? The first 2 episodes of Shogun are out, and I would highly recommend that. That was nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Shogun is incredible, and Dune 2 comes out this weekend. It comes out today, actually.
It's on
and I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that on a Saturday for a fan screening event. Dune 2 is incredible.
Is anyone else? So, what was the first thing you said you saw? Show what?
Shogun. It's on Hulu. It's a remake of.
Hey, we don't have Hulu unless it might be on something. I'm gonna try to find out. Okay, go on. Tim, you were gonna say?
Yeah, Star Wars just canceled a first-person shooter that was connected to the Mandalorian theme. And a lot of video game studios are actually laying people off right now, which is fascinating because I feel like the video game industry is still pretty healthy, but I don't know anything beyond like surface level observations.
Do you know, the thing with the video game industry is, like we have often said about like Disney Plus and Netflix kind of killing off the cinema bit by bit because you can get everything on streaming. Like more and more there is like Xbox Live where you get like 100 games, PlayStation do it now, Twitch do it. So there's you either get the really big games or you get like indie games, and all of the middle stuff, like we were saying about movies, happens there as well. I think I read somewhere over the last week that basically Sony don't have any big games exclusively coming to the PS5 this year. And people are like, how has that happened?
Well, they just blew all their money on Madden.
As far as I know,
Sorry,
basically the gaming industry is being like put in so much crunch time pressure to produce products fast, while the price point is too high for people to buy it. So people are relying on their backlogs and finishing those off, and nobody's buying games.
Yeah,
the price of the games going higher.
I think it's probably similar to what the movie industry's done to themselves too, specifically Disney, because like you had all of these games that came out over the last 5 years that were pushed to market and were buggy as hell and just were crap, and then it took like a year or so for them to get them up to speed so that they were actually functional. But I think people are just pissed off about, spending $60, $70, $80 for a game that's basically a beta.
Yeah, true. Okay, 2 more points, and we'll go on to like our next round, just to looking at the time here. Cap.
So I also heard that with the new Skull and Bones launch, the Ubisoft guy came out and saying that like people used to you get used to the fact that they should not be able to own games, just have a subscription model, which again is stupid. Unless you're playing an MMO, who's going to need a subscription model for a game? Why am I need to keep paying for a game if I just own it and the story ends and that's all I really need? I think this is going to kill the video. I'm not really sure it will kill it or not, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just going to go to piracy. That's the easiest.
Although,
That's why they want it to be subscription, because that way it will help prevent piracy.
From what I understand,
yeah, go on, Dev.
From what I understand, it's not a purchase and then a subscription. They want people to move on to Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus permanently and not purchase games separately. To pay monthly to get access to existing games rather than buying individual games.
The reason thing would happen with the sorry. Yeah.
The last 2 AAA games that I bought have been terrible. Honestly, like I hate BG3. I bought it because it was supposed to be like the greatest game of all times. And look, I played it for 50 hours and I'm like, I cannot play this game for 150 hours.
Yeah.
You
played it for 50 hours before you were like, I hate this. What am I doing with my time?
I paid.
That's like getting to the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and you're like, I just don't like this story.
I paid $60 to play it, to get it when it came out, and I'm like, I want to get my money's worth out of it, and I'm like, I really gave it a chance. And then the other game was Hogwarts Legacy, which is also, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'm like, I cannot do this.
With the digital media, like they currently have something happen with Funimation is that like they got absorbed by Crunchyroll, and people already bought like anime series from Funimation. Now they just lost everything.
Yep.
They lost the thing that they actually paid for. So again, a lot of people would not be happy about digital media. And again, even if you turn it to a subscription model, Coder's going to hack it, and they even release an offline version of it, and people will take the risk to go to that.
Yeah. Right. On that note, guys, let's go on to what will be our finale round 2, which will be the deciding factor in this week's Geek of the Week, which will be our traditional guessing game round. Now, the way this works is I'll come to one of you and give you a minute to ask me yes/no questions as you try to work out what it is that you're trying to work out. It might be a movie, might be a character, might be a comic book, might be a book, might be a video game, might be a TV show. You get to decide what you want to try to guess, and then you can only ask me yes or no questions, and I can only answer yes or no, and you try to guess it within the minute. If you don't, I will hand it over to someone else. Nick, you get to go first. What would you like to guess?
Movies.
Okay, let's see what we've got here for you, and your time starts now.
Is it live action?
Yes.
Is it a part of the series?
Yes.
Is it a Marvel superhero movie?
No.
Is it Die Hard?
No.
Is it Lethal Weapon?
You're never going to get it this way.
Is it a comedy?
No.
Is it an action movie?
No.
Drama?
No.
Horror?
Yes.
Is it a traditional monster movie?
Can you define what you mean by traditional monster movie?
Like, is it one of the classic like one of the Universal monsters?
It's not Universal Monsters.
Is it like a slasher movie?
No, not really.
Is it The Ring?
No.
Is it does it have a female protagonist?
Maybe one. I can't remember, but that is time, Nick. You didn't get there. Handing it over to you, Tim. Go.
Are there multiple movies in this franchise?
Yes.
Did the movies start in the 70s?
No.
Did the movies start potentially in the 80s?
No.
Did the movies start in the 90s?
This is kind of going to give it away slightly. Some would say yes, but technically no. That's going to really mislead you, but I apologize. You'll understand what I mean when we get to it.
Is it Hostel?
No.
Is it Saw?
No. It didn't begin. So, for clarity, the movies didn't begin in the 90s.
Okay. The movies were not produced in the 90s.
No.
Okay. The movies were released in the 2000s.
No.
The movies were released in 2010.
Yes.
Are the movies the Evil Dead franchise?
No, afraid not. But that is time. Trevor, handing it over to you. Everything.
I'm having a sound issue. I
Oh,
don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, I can't hear anything. Oop, hold on.
That's all right. I'm gonna bypass you for the moment, Trevor. Whilst you.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard everything that Tim established. It was something that, as a movie, began in the 2010s. And to be honest, I can't remember what else he found out. But it was a horror film. And continue.
All right. Is it found footage film?
No.
No, it's not found footage. Is it some of The Exorcist? Is it it's not a traditional horror movie or traditional monster movie. I don't know. This is kind of difficult. It's not. Is it? Is there more than 3 of the series of the franchise?
No, there is not.
There's not. There's not. Is there 2?
Yes, but once again, there is a reason why some people might say there is more than that, but there isn't.
Okay. Is it? Wow. Is it? Is the most recent one a remake?
Technically, yes, but that is time, I'm afraid. Okay, Dev, it is over to you.
2 movies. Was the first movie protagonist the male?
Yeah, there was more than one protagonist, but yes.
Was it a psychological horror or a was it psychological horror?
I don't think it'd be called that.
Was it gory?
I don't think especially. There might be bits and pieces of it, but that's not what springs to my mind.
Did it have any jump scares?
Yes.
Is it Annabelle?
No.
Was there magic involved?
Potentially. I don't quite know how you classify this character. That is time, I'm afraid. Cap, handing over to you. Cap.
Is it The Conjuring?
No.
Is it The Exorcist?
No.
Is it The Conjuring 2?
No, it's not the Conjuring series.
It's not. Is it Insidious?
No.
Start in the 2010s. Is there a ghost? Is it a ghost?
Kind of. I think it's something like that. Someone will be able to clarify for me. Go on.
Is it a demon?
It could be something like that as well. I don't know what it's classified as.
Does it have a haunted house?
Not especially. It's not that kind of film.
Is it The Nun?
No.
Am I close?
Do you know what? I'm going to give you a hint because we're almost at the end of this. But you've all said it in one way or another.
It has to be from The Conjuring. Is it The Conjuring franchise?
No. Right, Gerald, handing over to you.
Is it supernatural?
Yes, that is the correct word.
Is it American?
Yes.
Is it take place on the Earth?
Yes. Not long left.
It's
I
a
have no clue.
ghostly demon.
I have a guess. Yeah, after we're done.
Yeah. You don't worry. We'll give everyone a chance to get one last chance at this.
No clue.
No clue?
No.
Okay, I'm going to open it up to everyone. Trevor, did you have a guess?
Is it the Blair Witch remake?
It's not, I'm afraid.
No.
Now, guys,
no.
Good guess. Good guess.
I will give you a clue. You've all said it. Tim?
Is it The Exorcist 2?
No. Tim,
Grudge?
no, you're not.
Sorry,
Okay, guys.
Final Destination.
No, you're going to kick yourself so much in a second.
Ring 2.
No.
Is it Psycho?
No. Guys, I'm going to tell you. It is it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
So, literally, when
Got
you
it.
all went, is it? All you had to do was stop. Is it this? Is it that? Just stop at the word it. Right, okay, good. Now, normally it doesn't take that long, so I don't know how much time we'll have for everyone. But, Tim, what would you like to guess?
book.
But oh my god, okay. Right, ready, and your time starts.
This will be the last one.
It probably will.
Is it a live action?
It's a book.
Action book.
Sorry.
It's been a live
Is it
action
fantasy?
film. I'm
Is
just
it
gonna have to
fantasy?
help.
It's been a live action film?
Yeah.
It's been adapted into a live action
It's not
film.
fantasy though. It's not
Okay.
fantasy.
Is it sci-fi?
Yes.
Does it involve magic?
No.
Does it involve the Force?
No.
Okay. Does it involve aliens?
No.
Does it involve anything outside of our solar system?
No.
Is it the
I
Martian?
forgot what Tim was
No.
guessing.
A book.
It's a book.
Is it Project Andromeda?
No. That is time, I'm afraid. Trevor, handing over to you.
Okay. Is it Harry Potter any kind of way?
No. No.
Is it fiction or non? Is it fiction?
Yes.
Is it
Science fiction.
science fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
Established.
Okay. So if it's science fiction, is it? Wow, I don't know. Is there a female protagonist?
No.
No. Is there a male protagonist?
Yes.
Is it? And it is on Earth where this takes
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Is it? Let's see. Is it involve? We asked aliens, right? If it involves aliens.
No aliens.
No aliens. Okay. Is it?
That is time, I'm afraid. Dev, handing over to you.
Is it a comedy? Is it or action? Is it action?
There is action. I wouldn't say it is action. It's a book, so.
It was adapted into a movie, right?
Yes, it was. And there
Was
is
it released?
action in the movie, to be fair.
Hmm.
Not overwhelmingly.
Huh. Is it Oppenheimer?
No.
That's not
Science
science
fiction.
fiction.
It could count as science fiction. Ready Player One?
No.
Ooh, that's a good
Good
guess.
choice. Yeah.
Discworld?
No.
That's fantasy. That's absurdist fantasy. Discord.
That is time, I'm afraid. Cap, handing over to you.
Is it written by Isaac Asimov?
No.
It is in the movie adaptation. Did Will Smith star in it?
No.
Is this science fiction has to do with robots?
No.
Does it have to do with monsters or viral infection or anything like that?
Not viral infection. There is arguably some kind of monster in it, but not really.
Is it Frankenstein?
No.
Is it the thing?
No.
Is
That is
The-
time. Gerald, handing over to you.
Is it part of a series?
No.
Was it written in the 60s?
No, it was not.
70s?
No.
80s?
No.
90s?
Not 1990s.
it's the early 900s?
Is it?
No,
Yeah,
it wasn't the 1990s.
1890s.
Yes.
Sci-fi. War of the Worlds.
No.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
No.
Time Machine.
Yes, it is. There you go. There you go. Right, there you go. Good. Finally, we've made some scores here. Right, Trevor, what would you like? It could be a film.
By the way, I had figured that out.
Let's do film.
Go on, Trevor.
We'll do film. Or TV. Actually, we'll do TV.
Okay, let's see what we've got for a TV show. And, okay, your time starts now.
Is it live action television?
Yes.
Is it a streaming? Is it on a streaming channel, or was it made for a streaming channel?
It wasn't made for streaming. It probably is on sign streaming.
Okay, so it came out before streaming.
Probably. I'm English. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So did it come out in the 90s, or
No.
did it come out in the 2000s? No. So it came out
2010s. Is I think
2010s?
that's the correct one.
Is it is it the drama?
Drama? No, not really.
Is it a sci-fi?
Yeah, but that's not what it would be called.
Okay. Let's see. Is it? So it's not a comedy.
No, it's not. There's elements of that,
Okay.
but that is time, I'm afraid. Dev, handing over to you.
Is it superheroes?
Yes,
Is it The Flash?
it is the Flash. Look at that! Wow, straight in there. Okay, and on that note, Dev, you get to start the next round.
Video games.
Video games. Okay, let's see what we've got for you, and your time starts now.
Was it released in the 80s?
No.
90s?
Yes.
Was it on the Mega Drive, or was it on the Mega Drive?
No.
Was it on Super Nintendo?
No.
Was it on the PlayStation?
No.
What else is there?
Oh, come on! Right. Okay.
Was it on a handheld console?
No.
Was it an adventure game?
An adventure game, yes.
Yeah. Was it on the PC?
No.
Was it on the Commodore 64?
No, not Commodore 64.
Nintendo 64?
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go.
Okay. So was it a shooting game?
No.
Or adventure? Adventure?
Adventure.
Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Yes, it was. Legend of Zelda, you get with 1 second left. I'll allow that. Right, well done, well done. Okay, Capital Fave, handing over to you.
We know he's gonna take animated show. Just go.
Animated movie.
Animated movie. Let's have a look here. Okay, and go.
Is it made by Disney?
Yes.
Is it part of the Disney Renaissance?
I don't know what that means.
Is it a Disney classic?
No, it's not a Disney classic.
Oh, did it come out in the 2000s?
No, not the 2000s, I'm pretty sure.
The 2010s?
I think so.
Is it Pixar?
No,
It's a straight Disney film?
I think so.
Is it Frozen?
It is Frozen. Wow, you got that really fast. Okay, well done. Which leaves us with Gerald. What would you like?
I'll do a movie.
Okay. Let's see what we've
David,
got
what's
here.
the score?
I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Right. Okay. So, Gerald, your time starts now.
80s.
No.
90s.
Yes.
Action.
Yes. But not just action.
Comedy.
No.
Sci-fi.
Yes.
Spaceballs.
No.
That was the 90s. Was it part of a series?
Yes.
Part of the Stargate series?
No.
It's part of Star Wars?
No.
Star Trek?
No.
Was Arnold Schwarzenegger in it?
Yes.
Crap. Total Recall.
No.
Damn it.
That is
Terminator.
time. Nick handing
Oh
back
my
to you.
god, Gerald!
Is it the
I-
Terminator?
It's not the Terminator.
Last Action Hero?
Sorry?
Last Action Hero?
No.
You said there was 90s with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
I know what it is now.
Jingle All the Way?
No.
Command, no, not Commando. I don't know. Conan.
It's not Conan.
Fuck, I don't know. Go. Take it, Trevor.
Okay, he's handing it over. In the interest of time, Trevor, do you know what it is?
Predator.
No.
Then Running Man.
No.
Terminator 2.
Yes,
Is it?
there
Yes.
you go.
Okay.
It is not the Terminator. It is
Yep.
Terminator 2.
They're more than one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. It took me a second.
That brings us towards the end of the show. So that's going to leave us with finding out who our Geek of the Week is, and we have a tie this week. You could have stolen it entirely, Nick, but you didn't. So this week, Nick and Cap, you were tied for Geek
Wow.
of the Week. So well done. Well done.
I think I only
Okay,
had
so
one point.
guys, we're going to go on to our outros round, where the tradition is we will say where people can find us, anything we want to share on social media, plus if you have a geeky recommendation for the watchers. So, Gerald.
Instagram at Gerald Geek, and I have not been really watching much. I've mostly been reading, and there's a book called What Moves the Dead, I believe is the correct name of it. It's by T. Kingfisher. I highly recommend it. It's sort of it's based on what is the name of the book? Fall of the House of Usher.
Okay, Dev, where can people find you, and what's your geeky recommendation?
They can find me on TikTok and Twitch under the name FWUDAT. And my geeky recommendation is the new series of Jellystone, which is a comedy animated series based on Hanna-Barbera cartoons, which is going on season 3.
Okay, cool. Trevor, where can the people find you, and what's your geeky recommendation for them?
You can find me at Instagram or at TikTok at Life of Trevor, A Life of Trevor. I film content. It's all different types of content, so it's abbreviated to a lot because it's a lot of different material. So Life of Trevor. And then my geeky recommendation, I would say Shogun. Shogun is fantastic. First 2 episodes are available. Not everywhere, but yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And then Dune 2 comes out this weekend. Saw a fan screening, and I highly recommend it.
Awesome. Nick.
NSTAV on Twitter, NSTV. My geek recommendation is, I don't know, Ready Player One, the book, so much better than the movie. The movie is wonderful, but the book kills the movie way better.
Okay, Cap.
You can find me on Sword Deeds on YouTube and TikTok, where I sing, I dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And recently I filmed an episode with Diz. And it's all about the X-Men, and it will be premiering on Sunday night or early Monday. So go check that out. And my recommendation, because I think Deb did mention Discworld, I recommend the book Reaper Man.
Okie dokie. My name is David Pstansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at David Pstansky, spelled Pustansky. You can also get any of my books, including the one that Gerald's holding up, The Improviser's Bucket List, or mine Ultimate Guide to Creating Virtual Theatre, which would explain how to make shows kind of like the one you're watching now, and so many others. They're all available on Amazon worldwide. My geeky recommendation for this week would be, what have I seen this week? Not much. But I have been catching up on all of the seasons of Fargo, and if you haven't watched them in a while, go back and watch them because they're brilliant. Now, with that, I'll remind you to smash the subscribe button both on the Extreme Improv and the Geek Battle YouTube channels. And with that, until next time, stay safe, live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and ciao for now. Boom, and we're off the air.
Damn, I can't.